This video is going to take a deep dive into my air drying system that I built for my compressor. It's been 7 months since I've posted the video and 8 months since I actually built it and started using it. And I've had a lot of questions in the comment section below. I've had a lot of great suggestions on how to make this even better. So I'm going to cover some of those now. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and it's going to really help out. So let's get into the video. First question I've got, probably the most common question, is can I just use PVC? Yes, you can, but I definitely would not. I'm going to throw up the coefficient of thermal transfer here on the screen for you. And so that's the thermal transfer rate of PVC. And I will also throw up copper's thermal transfer on the screen. And some guys are like, well, what if I just use steel pipe? Well, I'll throw that coefficient of thermal transfer on as well. Now, you can see it is dramatically different. And your performance will be as such, right? The reason this works really well is because the rate of thermal transfer. So when that hot air comes in the top and it hits that copper pipe, it flash cools, and when it does that, it separates the moisture and it gets condensation on the inside of the pipe. Now, if you don't expand the air will not slow down, so you'll have high velocity air moving through the pipes, which will pull the moisture that's condensed on the side of the pipe off the side of the pipe and flush it through the system, essentially doing nothing for you. So it's crucial to expand the air. Now, I went 1 inch. I often wonder, what if I had gone 1.5 inches? Well, first of all, it would have cost me a lot more, but it would have performed even better than this system. If you want to see how this system works, click on my other video and you will see the massive amounts of moisture that came out of that system after only running for about 5 minutes. Now, you're probably saying, well, why don't you just crack it right now? Because it's a really hot, dry day here, and there isn't any moisture in it. So anyways, so the other question I got a lot was, hey, why don't you put an electric valve here with one of those timers and just have this thing auto dump? You know what? I love that idea. And I will leave a link in the description below to one of those valves that you can find on Amazon. I think that's a great idea. I already paid for these. I don't want to pay for something else after I already bought these. These were like 12 bucks a piece. Some guy said, hey, why don't you, after you come down like this, connect all 4 into a single valve? You know, I like that idea as long as it's a large manifold, because one of the keys when I crack these valves, it is a really high velocity blast of air, right? So if you can get a really high velocity, violent discharge, that is going to be more likely to rip the moisture off and flush out the system. That's one advantage that those electric valves would have, is when they open those solenoids, it may release even faster than what I did. So I do like that idea of, you know, combining all 4 into one single, and but just make sure it's very large and high volume, high flow, because if you neck them all down, you may not get that big burst of exhausting air. Also, another thing that guys mentioned was, they said, hey, you need to not use that type right there. You should get plastic or wrap it in rubber, because you'll get galvanic corrosion because they're steel and copper. But the ones I used are galvanized. Now, you can buy copper and you can buy plastic. I agree. You know, at some point that may start to corrode. So far, it's been 8 months and they haven't. So, I mean, so far, so good. Also, back to the cooling aspect, some guys pointed out that if you look, I'm right up against the wall. They said, yo, why don't you space that out about 4 inches, since you got the fan right there? That way, when the compressor kicks on and it sucks air from this air cavity, it will pull air across your copper pipe, and you'll be exposing the back, and you'll get more airflow across the pipes. And I gotta say, I love that idea. That is a great idea. The guys who posted that in the comments, you're brilliant. So maybe this video will have some brilliant geniuses in the comments section below, but that was also a great idea that I wanted to share with you guys. And what else? I really should have like wrote all this stuff down, but I don't like to read from a script because that really makes the videos feel like not me. I'm not a scripted kind of guy. I shoot from the hip, and what comes out, and sometimes it's not that great. But other times it is. So the big thing was, can I make it out of PVC? I really, really don't recommend that. That's a waste of your money. Can you make it out of iron pipe? Frankly, that's also a waste of your money. Go back to where I showed you the thermal coefficient, and you definitely don't want to do that. Some guys say, I made one out of 1/4 inch and it worked just fine. Great. You know what? 1 inch is going to work 4 times better than 1/4 inch. And that's mathematically the case. So, big pipe. Make sure this is the preferable configuration. Don't just put a T, right? Because then the air just blows right across. This here actually creates a turbulent section right here, which is more likely to dispose of the moisture and let it fall because the air crashes. So it has to go both ways, right? So it kind of, gets stirred up and it separates. And it gives you a little space to store some fluid. So make sure you have a little bit of a drop in case you aren't paying attention and you wait like a couple weeks. You want a little bit of buildup area in there. So that pretty much covers this. It works really well. Tell your friends, they need to build one. If you have any questions about dimensions, and like the more intricate details of how to build it, go watch the first one. I'll put that in a card at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. I'm not a mega channel. I will actually answer your questions and take the time to, get down into the weeds and explain in more detail in the comment section below. But you got to ask for that to happen. Thank you so much. I'll see you later.